Hey, what's up guys? Jeff from Star Guitar Works back. This is pretty much a follow-up video to my recent unboxing video for an EVH Wolfgang standard that is manufactured in Indonesia. So for those of you that watched that video, you know that the unboxing was somewhat of a fail. I did, after the unboxing, get a chance to put a new string on it and give it some playtime, and I really was not impressed. Sound quality, playability, and the quality of components, fit and finish just seemed pretty cheap for a guitar that's about $600. So for those of you that are really looking for a great quality Wolfgang that has a ton of bang for buck, this guitar right here is what I recommend. I just purchased this, obviously. If you watch the unboxing video, you know that it's probably only been a couple weeks, so this guitar is only a few days old. I was fortunate enough to find this online with a reputable retailer, and this is a new old stock EVH Wolfgang Special that was made in Japan. So, a little background here: when Eddie left Peavey, he partnered with Fender, and when they redesigned the Wolfgang, it was first introduced as a USA model, and then shortly thereafter they introduced the Special, which was manufactured in Japan. And then at some point they moved the manufacturing to China. At a later date, I believe in 2014, the Wolfgang Special was completely redesigned pretty much and moved to Mexico for manufacturing. So if you're looking for a legit Wolfgang that has almost identical specifications to a USA Wolfgang, I highly recommend one of these. Like I said, this is a made in Japan model, and what I'm going to do real quick is just go over some of the details that make this, like I said, nearly identical to the USA model, other than the USA model has a carved top with 5-ply binding and then some binding on the headstock. So like I said, let's start with the hardware. Genuine Floyd Rose Trem on here. Comes with the D-tuner. So this is, like now, this is probably like a $50 part, $40 or $50 part if you were to buy that aftermarket. So that adds some value there. This is a true Floyd Rose Trem. I took the trem cover off the back, and it has a high mass block that is engraved with the Floyd Rose logo. We know it's a true Floyd Rose. Excellent piece there. These are true made in the USA EVH Wolfgang pickups. Now the new Special that is made in Mexico features EVH designed pickups that are made overseas, and they're made to emulate the USA model, but these are bona fide wound in the USA EVH Wolfgang pickups. The pots are both Bourns low friction pots. These are very, very high quality pots. I don't know what else to say there. I mean, they're great pots. If you haven't had a chance to use one, I highly recommend them. They're high life, meaning you can get a lot of cycles out of them before they start to break down. They're really smooth. So those were featured on the USA model. The pups were featured on the USA model. The trem was featured on the USA model. And the switch is a really nice quality 3-way switch. Also the same switch that was used on the USA model. So let's get to the neck. These are stainless steel frets, and the fretwork on this guitar is really actually impeccable. But these stainless steel frets, one thing you have to factor with these compared to the current model, actually two things that you need to factor with these compared to the current model that's made in Mexico, is that these are stainless steel and these are more like a vintage size that's a little bit taller, whereas the new or current made in Mexico Special has jumbo frets that are nickel frets. So I actually prefer these, and I think most people, if they played these, they would really like them. So the neck features, as you can see, we'll get in here, hopefully the camera will focus, a nice Birdseye Maple Fretboard. Very nice, very high quality. As you can see, the edges of the fretboard are rounded, and it just makes for that worn-in feel. Now of course there's no finish on this neck, and probably, let's see if we could flip it over here and give you a shot. This one, I don't know if we can get it in the right light. but it has a decent amount of flame on the back of the neck. Man, my camera is struggling, which is nice. You'll see right there, made in Japan. So the tuners are the Gotoh Tuners with the purloined buttons, which are identical to the ones that are on the American. Floyd Rose locking nut, identical to the American counterpart. And the spring bar there is also a Shaler spring bar. So all of the componentry here, like I said, is identical to what you would get on the equivalent USA model, which is going to be about $3,000. Now granted, that's brand new. If you find a used one, I'm sure you can get them for under $2,000. Nonetheless, I only paid $625 for this with the case. So that's another thing with this, is that this case, as you can see, is just a really awesome case. It's form fit, obviously, to this particular guitar. And aside from that, it has this pocket here to where we can do, we've got the trem bar on there, and we can physically close the case all the way with the trem bar still on there. So you don't have to take off your Floyd bar when you put the guitar in the case and travel, which I think is awesome. This is the same exact case that came, or that comes with the American model. Just very nice, high quality SKB case. So when you factor the price of the components and the fact that they're identical to the components that are used on the USA Wolfgang, when you factor the price of the case, which is about $200, I mean, there's more in parts here than there is what I paid for this guitar. I paid $625 shipped to my door. I know that there's other deals out there like this that you can find if you're looking for a Wolfgang. And I think that if you're also looking for an Ernie Ball Axis, I think this is a better value. I think that it's made, and I'm not joking, it's made just as well as an Ernie Ball Axis because I've owned one. I think it sounds better personally. I like the neck a little bit better. And you're looking at paying probably about $1,200 for a decent used Axis. So, once again, if you're looking for a Wolfgang, if you want to buy a PV, that's totally cool. I'm not into the PV ones. I know a lot of guys like them. I've had a couple of these specials from both Japan and China. So I've had two Japanese and one Chinese. And the quality on both of them is just superb. You guys know from my reviews that if I thought something was a piece of shit, I'd tell you. There's absolutely nothing to not love about this guitar. The neck feels awesome. It's beautifully finished. High quality components from top to bottom. An excellent hardshell case. And if you can find one of these for, like $600, $700. Now, like I said, this is a new old stock. I got lucky in the sense that I was able to find one that wasn't used, because I prefer to buy brand new if at all possible. It's just a great guitar, and I think that even if you're not an Eddie Van Halen fan and you want a great playing, great sounding guitar, try to get into a store somewhere if you can find one secondhand or something and play one of these, because I think you'd be surprised. The offset body here kind of makes it feel, this is weird, it kind of makes it feel like a shorter scale than the Fender scale. So if you're a Les Paul guy but you like some things about Strats, this is like a perfect in the middle spot, because the way the neck is placed here, it brings it more towards the center of your body, so it makes it feel like a shorter scale than a Fender, but it's actually a Fender scale length on the neck. So it's just a really comfortable guitar to play. They're super light, super high quality. It's got a thin coat of finish on it. I mean, that's one thing that they tout, which I can tell from taking off the cavity covers on the back. A very thin coat of polyester. all of the cavities are devoid of paint, so they don't paint the cavities. And when you look inside the cavities, I wish I had the covers off. So if you look at the trem cavity and you look at the switch cavity and you look at the control cavity on the back side, they're absolutely pristine and there's no finish in there. I mean, you could eat off of them. So this Japanese model, the workmanship is phenomenal, the playability is phenomenal. This Floyd stays in tune with, you know, I was kind of shocked, even with the new set of strings on it, the tuning stability is just freaking phenomenal. I was able to dial in the detuner quite easily. It's really simple. You pull it out, you use the fine tuner to tune it to D, you push it in, and you use this little screw on the side here to tune it to E, and then it's done. And it's been flawless. There's no stability issues with that whatsoever. So once again, I'll give you a little aerial view here of the guitar before we go, but like I said, if you're looking for a Wolfgang, I think this is the one. If you're looking for a good guitar, well under $1,000, I think this is a great example. There's a lot of options out there. When you look at what some of these manufacturers are charging for guitars these days, if you want a new Mexican Wolfgang, they're $1,000 or $1,100. Some of them are almost $1,200 for the Mexican models. To buy this for half and have a superior guitar with higher quality trem, higher quality pickups, higher quality hardware all the way around the board, I don't know why anyone would buy a new one. Now, Eddie or Fender, if you're watching, I apologize. This is just a testament to how nice these original Fender EVH Wolfgangs were. So I highly recommend getting a hold of one if you're interested. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them below in the comment section. Once again, guys, thanks for watching. Take it easy.